Gini, that was a difficult night, especially the first half. Give your assessment of the game.
Yeah, it was difficult. I think because we played against a good side, and I think the way we did it in the first half was not good. When we recovered the ball, we lost it too quick with simple passes. I think I think it was the reason why we couldn't come in our game. I think what we did in the weekend quite well. When we recovered the ball, when we counter press, and we had the ball, we played good football. And yeah, we didn't do that the first half. We lost the ball too easy, and I think 2 moments where we were not concentrated enough, they scored.
Yeah, were you presenting presents to them? I mean, particularly the second goal, it was laid out on a plate for Real Madrid.
Well, I don't want to say that it was a present because he still had to make the goal, but yeah, that was typical for the first half. We were not concentrated enough, not sharp enough, and I think it was a long ball, and yeah, we didn't stand well at the back, and that's why it happened what happened at the second goal.
Did you need to get in at half-time to find some solution to get reorganised?
Yeah, what we just said in the second half is that we have to play our football, don't lose the ball too easy, and has to be more concentrated than in the first half, that we have to stand better at the back because they were a few times dangerous with the long balls, and also in the second half, I have to say. But yeah, and just play our own game. I think that's why we scored a goal. But unfortunately, they scored one again, and yeah, that makes it more difficult than when it's 2-1.
But that one away goal does give you some hope. There's still a chance.
Yeah, it gives us confidence, of course. Of course, we hoped on a better result now, but you know, we have to hang on the good things, and that's the away goal. But now we just have to make sure that we score 2 and don't concede a goal.
Gini, thank you very much.
To the second leg. 2 good games. Champions League knockout stages always deliver.
Yeah, and we've got goals.
And they're not even the second legs.
Yeah, exactly. And what's good about it is that the 2 second legs have still got a bit to play for.
Lots to play for.
Yeah, you hate to go into the second leg and it's like a 3 or 4-0. Yeah. We're going to be going to Anfield and hopefully with something to do.
Yeah, I think we'll quite enjoy that night, and they'll have a real go. They've got to have more of a go than that, didn't you?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, listen, at half-time 2-0, you are really worrying. Yeah. I think Jurgen Klopp would probably have taken 3-1 at half-time.
Oh, unquestionably, I would say.
It gives them a chance.
Yeah. Let's have a look at the Salah goal that has given them that vital away goal. We discussed them playing through the lines and playing quickly.
Yeah, and it's that man again, isn't it? Mo Salah. How many times has he come to Liverpool's rescue with big goals? But Liverpool play really well, as you say, through the lines, direct play along the floor, fast. Jota was great little dummy there. Just falls to Salah. His touch isn't great. It bobbles back between his legs a little bit, but he manages to just prod it home. And that, straight early on in the second half, you think, right then, come on, Liverpool,
just
start the game on.
onside.
And yeah, exactly. They took a lot of time, actually, to come to that decision. But they got there in the end, which is the main thing.
I think the big part of that goal is the speed with which they played through the lines. The first half was slow and it was just cumbersome. There you saw there was an injection in pace in the game, and that's what we talked about before. Can Madrid live with that kind of pace when they play quick? They couldn't for that instance, but they couldn't maintain it. Yeah,
that was the only shot that Liverpool had on target against a team missing their 2 key central defenders.
Yeah, I mean,
Varane and Ramos.
Just not good enough, was it? It was. I don't know what was happening there. There was a lack of cutting edge. I think it was the only moment really in the match where, as Rio said, they injected a little bit of pace into it, and you felt that they were going to create, and it just wasn't anywhere near enough of it. No,
Vinicius certainly was his night, wasn't it?
Yeah, he's sort of... You watch him sometimes, don't you? Think, wow, what a player. But then sometimes you think he goes missing a lot of the time. He is young.
His finishing has been poor in the games that I've seen, a lot of them, but it certainly wasn't this evening.
It wasn't this evening. He was a constant thorn, wasn't he? And obviously, Trent's best attribute is going forward. He's a brilliant passer of the ball. Showed on occasions tonight how good he is. But on this side, he got a little bit of joy. I mean, I felt this was almost a knock-on effect. I mean, Rio, you'll know better, but everyone seemed sort of half a yard short from this moment to then Fabinho, and then in the middle.
And everyone's static. You've got one player in the box there against 4 Liverpool red shirts. He runs off of Trent there. Trent's got to go over in there. In the box, you've got to stay, or at least you've got to scream to your centre-back partner, man on. I don't think he does either. And then I don't think Nat Phillips can react in that short space of time. And it's a
goalkeeper?
Maybe the keeper, but it's a decent finish. I mean, he's only had 4 goals before this game, Vinicius, and today he gets 2, and he looked a real player.
He certainly did. The damage was done early on, though, wasn't it? I think you've had a look at the goals in the first half.
Yeah, and we talked about Madrid losing their 2 experienced centre-halves, but obviously the same has happened for Liverpool a little while back. And here, this is Toni Kroos, we all know what he's like when he gets the ball and how good he is. He gets the ball here, the ball's out of his feet, and what's he doing? He's scanning the pitch. Who's available, who's on. And once that happens, as a centre-half, you can't stand in a line like this.
We hear the phrase a lot, Rio, don't we? You cannot go forward when there's no pressure on the ball. Explain exactly why you can't do that as a defender.
Yeah, well, like I said to you there, Toni Kroos is the man on the ball. He's scanning the pitch. When he's got no pressure on the ball like this, there's nobody in front of him to get his head down. His head's up, he can see the whole pitch. Once that happens, and you know there's pace around you, for instance, as well. Benzema's quick enough. Vinicius, obviously, is very, very quick. As a centre-half, especially here, you've got to drop it. You're the opposite side of the ball. Drop off a little bit. If he just drops off maybe to around not talking 10 yards, 5 yards, drop off. He then, at the moment, he can only see one person. Can he see? Benzema. That's the only person he can see. He can't see over his right shoulder, who is Vinicius, who is the man who gets in. And I'll slow it down here. The moment he looks, there he looks now, right? His body is facing which way? Phillips is facing this way. He's now got to turn 180 degrees to get round. The man running, Vinicius, is already on his bike to get in there. So in a foot race, the man turning can't get up to a pace to catch the man who's already facing that way.
You've got to drop early to give yourself the chance.
If you drop
Especially
early...
when there's no pressure, because when there's no pressure, they can pass the ball when it suits them.
Yeah, and if he drops early, the ball's now coming onto him rather than having to chase back. And you see here, and from this moment on, there's only one person winning, and then it's about instinct, the first touch, taking it across the defender, takes him out of the game completely. It's a beautiful finish. But these type of situations can be stopped at source. The second goal, again, we see it. I'll show you. They don't learn from that mistake. The 2 wide players all game were running inside and behind. Toni Kroos gets on the ball. What's he doing when he gets it? The player, the class that he is, scanning the pitch. The 2 wide players, there's one, there's the other. The only thought in their mind is here. The 2 centre-backs, watch the 2 centre-backs in the middle of the pitch here. These 2 boys here.
Are you pretty sure Zidane's looked at the Liverpool team and gone straight direct balls over the top are on? Because that's not the way they normally play over there, is it?
And this is definitely a tactical thing that they've worked on. And watch the 2 centre-backs in this picture I've got highlighted there. They don't move. Their reaction, they stand up, they stand still, and there's no pressure on the ball. And before you know it, sorry, let me just let it roll on. How is that possible that you look at the difference in the positions there, the back line? That's back to front. The 2 centre-halves
should be behind.
Should be here, waiting for that ball to come over, and then you go onto the ball and you head that clear. And then obviously from here on in, this is about Trent Alexander-Arnold just getting it wrong, gets himself in the muddle, and he was punished, and it's a fantastic finish. But you can stop these type of things at source. Yes, they're young, inexperienced defenders, but they are fundamentals of a defender's makeup.
I don't know about you, Michael, because you're kind of similar to me in the way you play, and you like to spin behind defenders and stuff. It's a dream for a striker when teams play that high, isn't it?
Yeah.
When you've got midfield players that can pass it.
I hated it, actually, Gary.
That's why I didn't bring you in.
I know, I just hated it. Why do they do that?
You could have always stood there and little flick on.
I had more than that, you know.
Two
and a
things I
volley
would
from
say.
35 yards in the top corner occasionally.
2 things I would say to counter it, or to agree in many ways, is that one, we spoke about it before, a lot of the time Liverpool, in the past, how many times do you see their front 3 nicking the ball? Kroos doesn't even get his head up.
Yeah.
There's players nicking the ball off him. He doesn't get his... And the second thing, I'd say, half the teams that play against wouldn't even try that ball when Van Dijk and Gomez are there. They would look at it, they wouldn't even be working on it tactically. They would just say, forget that, forget trying to go over the top against these lads. You've got to play in a different way. So now people smell danger. People smell something thinking, right, we can get at them like this.
Why has the has Liverpool as a team lost that energy?
Well, those 2 goals that Rio's touched on there, simple, isn't it? Like, Toni Kroos is one of the best passers in world football. You've got a bit of pace on the left-hand side, and you've just played not a simple ball, but, you know, a very good ball over the top of the centre-half who's too high, and the pace has got in. And obviously, yeah, very good finishes and great goals, but from a Liverpool point of view, far too simple against a team like Real Madrid. You know, I think, does it come from the manager? You know, still... He hasn't got that pace at centre-back anymore. And, you know, you can't play this high line. You know, your defenders, I think, do have to be 5, 6, 7 yards deeper, don't they?
I agree 100%. But also, going back to your point, with the question you asked about how can they not be playing as intensive as there was before, what's happened to the Liverpool intensity? They've been going at it for three years, 2 or 3 years now, at that high-octane pace.
Yeah. Maybe it's
the
hard to do
velocity.
that, particularly without crowds pushing you on.
Yeah, and that's what I was going to say. You need a crowd sometimes. They give you that extra little buzz of energy, that enthusiasm, and you just think the adrenaline. It's like that isn't there at the moment. And don't forget today, but they're playing at a training ground. Yeah. That's not an excuse, but it does take some sort of edge off of a performance for individuals, but also as a team.
Yeah.